And hello, Star Wars fans, and welcome back to another episode of the Zone TV Movie Entertainment with me, your host Jonathan. Once again, bringing you my thoughts and review for tonight's episode of Star Wars Andor Season 2, Episode 6, the final episode for the week. So if you have not caught up to this episode, spoilers ahead. You've been warned. This one I think might be my favorite out of the three that we got for this week. Okay. So we all know that Cassian, he went to go see those supposed rebels who are trying to pretty much figure out what the heck is the Empire building and then why they got some armory, building that they got coming up. They got an armory building, like literally in the middle of the town, and these rebels, they want to know what's in there, why do they have it, and they need to figure out what to do and how to get in there so they can, clear them out. So we all know that the Empire is always like maybe 2 steps ahead of everybody, sometimes, depending on the situation. So in this situation, they already knew that the rebels were going to show up and start, raiding this, armory in a way where one of their I guess, like, what do you call it? Like, their truck's going to come in with all the supplies, and they were going to ransack it. They were going to go underneath the ground and literally stop this freighter from delivering the weaponry that it was transporting. Stop it in the middle out of the street while everybody's partying. All the, big Empire, big wigs are like partying at a party, including Krennic, who shows up at the thing also. And, we have Lutheran and his girl Claire. They're stalling. They're doing their part of this, We see a moment where Claire is holding a codex, and apparently there's like a device that's underneath it. She's trying to get it. You can see her trying to pry it open, trying to get it out, to the point where her hand starts bleeding. Krennic is there talking about all those beautiful art pieces that is there. Lutheran is just laughing, pretending to have a good time with all this is going on, while the rebels are doing their thing, trying to take all the stuff from the freighter. They kind of suffer a casualty. One of their own gets killed accidentally by one of the rookie kids who has a blaster, who wasn't supposed to be carrying one, because they made it very clear, hey, none of you guys are carrying blasters here. Only us, only the main ones who are leading this, because, we know how to handle ourselves, and, you guys will just, start randomly shooting at things and then get all of us killed. But we all know the Empire is 2 steps ahead of everybody, so they just stand there and watch. And Siri, he's there doing his thing, watching, keeping an eye on, telling his commander, oh yeah, they're doing this. This is how they shut down the freighter. And literally, they use like electricity, like a little fidget thing, and they threw it, and the electricity shocked everything. So that was pretty cool. And then you see all the rebels just taking out all the equipment that's in there, put it into a hole in a tunnel that leads into their transport, so they can get out of there. And they kind of do it successfully. And literally, you want to know why? Because, like I said from last episode, which is episode 5, the Empire is already planning it. They're like, hey, listen, let's let them take this stuff. That way, they'd be like, we did this pretty easily. All the big wigs were, partying, doing their thing. Nobody bothered us, really, minus the little tragedy that they had. And, we got away with it. So that way, the next time they do this or something else, and they have the confidence like, oh, we can do this. This is, we planned this properly. The Empire won't even know. But the Empire will know. So if they show up in the next episode doing something else, say they, destroy a factory or something, the Empire will be ready to go and take them all out if they have to. It's like a divide and conquer kind of a thing. You lose one battle to win the war kind of a situation. So I thought that stuff was really cool. We got to see Bail Organa in this episode for a couple of minutes. He literally was bouncing from the party, so I thought that was pretty fun. There's literally I guess a rebel spy who's really an Imperial officer. He was all sweaty because he saw one of his contacts there, and he was like, what are you guys doing here? You're not supposed to be doing this. Kind of a situation, so I thought that was pretty cool. He ends up helping Claire to try to get the piece that he needed from the Codex. So I thought that was pretty cool. Him just like, her idea was like, listen, you stay to the left so everybody will see you, and we looking at us, so we're just talking. I'm underneath the thing, the Codex, to try to wedge the thing I'm trying to get out, and she ends up getting it out. And I thought that was pretty cool. And then of course the ending was really cool as well. Didn't give much context to it, but if you've been watching this so far, you kind of know right away that we get to see Bex finally track down the guy who was the one who was pretty much torturing her from the last season. She finally tracks him down, grabs him, puts him into the thing, tortures him. That's pretty much the same way she was being tortured, and blows up the whole thing. If you guys remember the trailer, the trailer that we see Cassian and her walk away, and he blows it up. You don't see her in the trailer. I don't remember if you see her in the trailer or they cut her out. But anyway, she's in this scene. He blows it up and they just walk off. So I thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, like I said, I thought this episode was the best of the 3 this week, only because it really shows that the Empire is ready to do pretty much anything they need to do. They know that the rebels are out there doing their thing. And by letting them win in this situation, they're ready for the next time. They literally are ready for the next time. So that way the bloodbath is going to be even more brutal. So yeah. So leave a comment below. Let me know what you guys thought about tonight's episode. 6th episode of Andor. And are you been watching it, not watching it, binging all 3 episodes for this week? Not gonna do it, doing one at a time. Leave me a comment below. Let me know. Stay tuned for more. Thank you very much, and have a good night.